This is day 821 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor come share more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please come me directly. Be greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Tov Kuf Tez Vav Si Dalet Yud. Dalet. B'zer shkos Rabbeinu Rama b'sifal Dibi Rabbeinu b'Yosef Yosef Sheni Dibi Rashi b'Rambam Sheni Yisrael Yom Rishon. Prohibition if a non-Jew did a malacha for a Jew and brought him something on Yontiv is only Yom Rishon for the first day uvalayla b'Kadesh Yasu plus that night till Kadesh Yasu. Kasav hu v'zel l'shon. This is how he wrote. Yesh machmirin le'asro ad Motzei Shabbos. There are those who are Motzei Yontiv Sheni. Those who ask her until the second day Motzei second Yontiv nogim lachmir. He made it tzarich Yontiv. People have accustomed to machmir. If it's not tzarich Yontiv, the tzarich orchim for the purpose of guest, of chai gavna, etc. Does nogim lakel acherim shlo vav bishlan. Then the minhag we make for others for whom it was not brought. Akan l'shono. The Bura says when he has a doha gadol and a need for to eat, you can matir on the second night after Kadesh Yasa, even for the person for whom was brought. Especially if there's he says when there is in it another suffix, if it was collected on the Yotav for Erev Yotav, which is a big condition. Bialacha writes that if he has from that type of food, if he doesn't have that type of food, that's called tzarich Yotav. Because he has, that's not called tzarich Yotav. Okay, that's all the Mishnah Berurah. Let's see what the Arukh HaShulchan has to say. Fachi beirusha. The v'adei l'chatchila yesh lachmir v'acher ad motzei Yontiv Sheni. Certainly l'chatchila shimacher even by another person until motzei Yontiv Sheni. Avo tzarich Yontiv, but for the person Yontiv goes she'ein lacher b'mel la'negas Yontiv, for the person Yontiv such as when the other person does not have the capacity to do only Yontiv, la'negas Yontiv Sheni, only Yontiv Sheni, obviously only Yontiv Rishon, it's not going to help. Yechon l'yismach adas a rosh l'achayim mutar b'Yontiv Sheni. The Rosh says that for other people it's mutar on Yontiv Sheni. V'lo afilu hu batzmo. Not only that, if he even himself, zimein orchim, invited guests, orchim chashuvim kuhu atzmo, the guest l'chora should be considered like he himself. Kmo kol b'nei Yisrael, like all members of his household, he himself, kmo shizbar b'chutz l'tchum, as we shall see when we talk about things coming from outside tchum. Does mosifino kula? No, we add a kula. L'shachshiv l'orchim ka'achirim. We consider the guests like other people. V'oz does mutal v'shal b'shilon, and you're allowed to cook for them. The avagav de'enim ka'achirim, even though they're not really like other people. What's that? Ashitas Rashi Rama. In this case, Rashi Rama holds the mutar on the Yontiv and Krishas on Yontiv Sheni. V'chol gamu le'achol imayin, and he can eat with them. De'enim b'derech shame yochlu. It's not derech eretz that he should eat. And that they should eat who lo yochal and he's not going to eat. But time the rova poskim serving Rashi and Rambam. It's because most of us going like Rashi and Rambam. Oshon machmir k'tois kasmach lechatchila until the end of Yontiv Sheni. Welcome to the Rosh, and also welcome to Tzarech when it's necessary we line the Rosh. The acher mutar gam la'tois that for others mutar even on the second day itself for other people. Welcome to Doichak, the place which is where we have a pressure. We regard the guests as others. You can also eat with them. Rambam, based on the opinion of the Rashi Rambam. Also, in terms of a prohibition of carrying, moving the stuff on the second day, they can rely and the Rashi and the Rambam and the opinion of the that are orchim acherim and move the stuff. But it's enough to ask for the eating. The bracket says here, the base, seems that doesn't agree with this. And the Ramah is very precise in what he wrote, the Duke. Daled, Mishnah Berurah says, before Kadesh Yasu on Yontiv Sheni, you should not be makel no matter what, even for others. Mishnah writes that some say that orchim from that city you can't allow unless you invited them after the gift was brought. Seems counterintuitive. I don't know why it should be. I don't know. It should be better that if you invite them before the gift was brought. Not sure why. I guess because before the gift you should have something prepared. I don't know. I'm not sure. He says that a guest from another city, you can be mako even if you invite them before the gift was brought for the Jew from by the non-Jew. It's Spangles somewhere, I forget where it is. And I'm sure other people say as well. Chnesses Orchim is only defined as Orchim who otherwise not have a place to eat, such as they came from outside the city. And the other mitzvah of Chnesses Orchim does not apply to your neighbor on the street for a social visit. So perhaps that's relevant here as well. Mishabur writes that on Yontiv Sheni, if he doesn't have guests, Taka's Muktzah. Okay, that makes sense. So Arukh HaShulchan would hold that way. But he doesn't. No, I think Arukh HaShulchan say you can rely on Rashi and the Rambam in order to carry Yontiv Sheni no matter what. I think he's much more making than Mishnah Berurah. Hey, in terms of what constitutes Kadesh Yasa, there's a difference. So the Peirush Rashi is Melechas Yontiv. According to Rashi, that the concept you shouldn't have on law from Melechas Yontiv. Dai b'shirat lisha b'atzeidah b'ad. It's enough to wait. The amount of time would take to pluck the apple off the tree or capture or catch the fish. Zel ikar melacha. That's the primary melacha. Lo kashir shiavi lakan. We'll take into account the amount of time it would take to bring it here. Because of a tour, Zel shono. Perush kadesh yaseh. Tour writes that the definition of kadesh yasu is kadei hatlisha b'atzeidah. The amount of time it would take to pluck or to trap. Levada, by only. I'm thinking they have us of a kind. You don't have to wait for as long as it takes to bring it here. Avatam, he says, but according to this, they shouldn't come to tell him to do it. So should also include amount of time it takes to get it here. Avishim is low tour. That feel time Rashi some people say not like the tour. Even according to Rashi, you have to include the amount of time it would take to bring it here. So that's our baby. So she goes up so Sifa Zel Shono. They says right Shir Kadesh Yasu Hainu Kadesh Yelech Any Yehudi the Mokum Shalike. So the non-Jew would go to a place where he collected it, v'higmar malacha, and go finish the work. V'yachzor kind of come back here. And if you're not sure where he brought it from, it's a shir which would be take for him to bring something from outside the tchum. End quote. He passes the Rashi Rambam, and he passes the Rashi Rambam. He says that you have to wait until Kadesh Yaseh, the longer Kadesh Yaseh. Tam is because of Rashba, Varan, which is right to count Perish Rashkenu. Let's go to Rashi. This is the case. Machshirin, which I have not learned in probably 40 years. The call of Yasa Amishan Lapi Etzem Asiyasa Isser, which any Kadesh Yasa we don't reckon according to the amount of time of the Isser itself. Shanas is Begachas, because you done it one moment. Elafika Kla Asiya, according to the general performance, Tana Asiya, Valicho doing it and going there. It becomes riding or traveling in a wagon, which makes it quicker. We take that into account. We have to take all this into account because if not, there is no Kadesh Yasa because Itza can be done immediately. So it sounds like on the Shulchan, you take into account how the non-Jew actually would get here. In other words, if you come by car, come by plane, become by foot. I'm not sure that Mazana said to make a major difference. Okay, but I think most of the time we can assume that was brought by car. The Bir Halacha writes that when he brings on the first day, it's possible to make it for others. Motzei Yantav Sheni, according to the Rosh, that Kadesh Yasa is in order to bring this from this item from a place which is close to the city. I assume it's still outside the Tchum. Shmuel writes that this is this idea that we don't know where it came from. You could assume just comes outside the Tchum. You can write that you can use that both the Chumer and the Kula. But Tzarech Mitzvah, you can be Mekel and be Sofek and only wait the amount of time it would take to bring it from somewhere within the Tchum. I'm not sure how far away. It can't be next door. I don't know exactly. I guess maybe from 1999 amas away. I don't know exactly what he means by that. Okay, kosher also lochlo. Anything is time to anytime it's forbidden to eat something. Afilu of our venas and lepiv. Even you violate that and put it in your mouth. The law so and you chewed it. Also, you now have to swallow it. Wow. Shmuel writes that this even did b'shogeg. putting him out of shogeg, and the Shmuel says even you already made a bracha on it. It's pretty machmir. Wow. Because also tatlo. Oh no, so it's not like he said before. I know, not necessarily. In other words, anytime we have nothing to rely on, obviously not the neither Rashi nor the Rambam. Um, let's see. I think he's actually going to speak about this. The came since it's not super for eating, male have a muksa, so automatically it's muksa. Came because it's not super for anything. This is how ikar muksa. That is what muksa is all about. Male the shitas that taisus dasum gam yom sheni. According to dosum gam gam yoshi, the asum betilto begam yom sheni. So it says according to taisus the asur is also second day. It should be also tilto on the second day as well. Lo tishlach mashkasu taisus sov siv dal the mutzah betilto. Now the Arukh HaShulchan recognizes that himself that he confused us. And said at the end of Siftal, he said, sound like it was matter to a blanket, right? They go on Rashi and the Rambam. No, the Bam has Zeh Eino L'Shitas HaTaisus. That's not true, according to Taisus. El Shemani until the Yeshua Yismach L'Shitas HaRashi and Rambam. Oh, so he did guess correctly what he meant to say. Now you decline in Rashi and the Rambam came Shas Atzchak Ono Matirim. Since Shas Atzchak we permit this. Kamosh Kosam Lusham like we wrote there. Eshkam L'Shitas HaTaisus came the Rosh Mutar L'Acherim. It's possible also going to Taisus that since according to the Rosh it's mutar for others. The Rosh is qualification Taisus. May then also tilto. Therefore, automatically it comes out there's no issue of tilto. The Mishnah Berurah obviously disagrees with that. Zion. V'imei vil b'yom sheni. They brought in the second day. So tzarich lamtin l'erech le'shiasa. You have to wait till nightfall and the shiasa. Brialocha says that that's also if the non-Jew gathered or captured on Yontif Sheni and brought Miriam Motzai Yontif. You have to wait till Kadesh Yasu. Shmuel says there's no chiluk in this case between he and others. But if he brought it at the beginning of the night when there was no time to capture the day, and it must be that beginning of the night of the second day, in other words, between the first and the second day. So then, and it's for sure then, it was captured on the first day, then it has the din of something which is brought on the first day. Okay. Vishnei 2 days Rosh Hashanah and Shabbos Yontif juxtaposed to each other. Everybody agrees it's us until the end of the second day. But night night the Shnei Yom and Rosh Hashanah Kedusha Achasi. 2 days Rosh Hashanah, 1 Kedusha, Shabbos Yontif Avkav the Shtei Kedusha saying, and Shabbos Yontif even though it's 2 separate Kedushas, Mikom Kom nevertheless he may also Rishon with the B'Shem we're to allow us in one and allow in the second one. Hareichin l'Shabbos, so Shabbos Yontif Shabbos, we're not chana from one to the other. Zachana the Rabbanan Kein Achana Shbizim Taf Kol. This is Achana Rabbanan Aser. The Beitz Shol the Shabbos, so beyond the Shom this Bar Ein Achana Zu. We already explained the egg which is laid on Shabbos also on Yontif, vice versa. The Yesh Mishtabed the Peiros on the Lashon Habi Achana Doraisa. Perhaps it's even worse. Go down in the Beitzah. It's not like an egg. It's Mageh Avraham and the name of Yam Shlomo. But in any event, it's still Achana. Who has the rice of the Rabbanan? The Sharatzin says that the fruit which is plucked is only Achana the rice of what needs cooking in order to eat. The Sharatzin says for Yontif Shabbos, it's definitely only the Rabbanan because Midoraisa it's suitable for the Yontif itself. Okay. Can't talk about where it's something which requires cooking. Ches. That's where he plucked or captured something for the Jew. He did it for himself. And then he decided to give it to a Jew. They fell on their own. So everybody agrees this was only on that day. Mishum Muktzah. And that evening it's mutar immediately. They ain't shaykam b'chdei shiasu. The b'chdei shias is not relevant there. Came Mishlo Nase b'Shul Yisrael wasn't made for the Jew. Oh, but only on Rosh Hashanah because the 2 days are like one. It's also on both days. V'chein b'Shabbos v'Yontif Mishum Achana the Rabbanan Kamosh Kosavnu, and also Shabbos and Shabbos. I wonder if it's supposed to say Achana the Rabbah, but anyway, it says Achana the Rabbanan. It's mutter even for the person whom it's brought in Ruah Mitoch HaTchum. it was brought from inside the tchum. Chutz tchum also mishul vabu shvilo, and because it comes from outside the tchum, it's also for the person who was brought, because she's brought siyat shmai sifu base, as will be explained. So this is the Dunkin' Donuts, Shiloh. In other words, Dunkin' Donuts bakes donuts, and they bake on Shabbos. And perhaps you come on Tzoi Shabbos, and was you have to wait Kadesh Yasa, not wait Kadesh Yasa. Depends. So the donuts are made for the Jewish population or not made for the Jewish population. And the Shiloh is even greater on Motzei Pesach, when we have a greater umdana that they're baking donuts for Jews. So the Pashas, you have to wait Kadesh Yasa on Motzei Pesach. Motzei Shabbos probably depends on what the clientele is. Okay, test. Even if it's a suffix, if they were plucked or captured today, asurim, it's forbidden. And if it's a suffix, it was plucked or captured for a Jew, it's they're still asur. So we have to be on the Vishani, and they're also on the shade. That's a Tosfos. Well, why? Or this is a suffix of Kula. By the time Shechmir b'chol zem, they had to have a double sheish matirin. It's going to be mutter yantiv, so therefore we don't rely on we don't rely on suffix rabban kula. Yeshish mikra, but suffix must be shul yisrael v'chol kolav. There is one the Bach wants to be makel. The suffix is done for a Jew, and the Mogen Avram and the Taz argue on him. But if it's clear that they weren't captured there, or gathered there, it's not a clear cut, indisputable recognition. Mutter, it's still mutter. That's also true if they came at the beginning of the night of Yom Tov Rishon, I assume. It's more likely they were captured or plucked from before Shabbos. As long as they haven't come bechutz l'chum, the mutter even for the person who was brought. A lot of Mishnah Bur to catch up in here. Mishnah Bur writes that a non-Jew brings a gift for a Jew. Some people hold like it's a vade that was collected the day before, and for the Jew. Some people say it's one suffix. Oh, there's one suffix, then you can be mitzvah for another suffix to make a mutter that evening. Mishnah writes that if the two suffixes came together, that they're still usher that day, of course, and in Motzai, in the evening, even as Yom Tov Sheni, they're mutter immediately. Mishnah writes in the Pri Chodesh that there's a difference between plucking, which the derech of Bnei Adam is to pluck on that same day, but in terms of capturing, hunting, or fishing, that it's not usually done the same day. It's a sveika, and it's mutter. The Mishnah also writes that the makom mitzvah, you can be makel like the Bach. That if there was a suffix, if it was done for one suffix only, some for a Jew or not, it's a bikula. Mishnah writes also that a type of heker, such as where the fruit is already slightly soft, and the fish, it's where they're not moist anymore, and the redness, they're not so red under their jaws anymore. That you would not assume that they were caught today. Okay, that's pretty precise. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. The non-Jew says innocently, casually, you weren't captured today. Captured today from the Tzorah, you weren't captured today. Neman is believed. Until Yom Tov Bar Shabbos, never be the Rabbanon. When Yom Tov comes after Shabbos, is believed, and it's the Rabbanon. Mishnah Bura writes that if it's fruit which is not normally eaten raw, it brought Yom Tov Rishon after Shabbos. According to Maharsha, it's the Doraisa, and he's not believed. But Yom Tov Sheni after Shabbos, everybody, the Rabbanon would be believed. But I feel him back to Arukh HaShulchan. I feel him on the still like the Rabbanon ain't on them. Even though the Mesiach B'Tumah does not believe even the Rabbanon. Mikom Makom b'Suffix is the Rabbanon Vade Neman. If it's a suffix is the Rabbanon, it's definitely believed. So he doesn't make it. He's not improving his sales pitch by saying it's older and new, fresher. He thinks it's better. We're not concerned in this halacha to know whether he knows our halacha or not. It's suffix whether it's prepared, you can be lenient. However, there are some people who, evidently the Taz, who is concerned with that, I guess, is more machmir, And Mishnah Berurah paskins that way. That has to be that he doesn't know that it's also to a Jew. All these things this is when the non-Jew did this stuff, did it himself. Or be sure he saw or either for the Jew or be sure for his own self. It should be Allah says also true when he brought it to sell in a city in which mostly Jews live. But if the Jew, I mean, you saw Hamida saying but if the Jew made an agreement with the non-Jew before Yontif, should be done in Paris of Yontif. They should bring him fish or fruit on Erev Yontif. Katzlo schara is that, and he paid him for that. Who if he be Yontif, then the non-Jew delayed and brought him Yontif. Zel vadai the chodesh mutarim Erev. Everybody, these not cases mutar at night. Miyad immediately b'shnei yom term golios, the second night. But isu rakashu muktzah. And this is only for muktzah, I guess, on the first day. Chodesh yas lo shayach, but chodesh yas is not necessary. Chem beyond the sheni la taisus. Also according to Yom Sheni, according to Tosfos, it will be mutar without chodesh yas. Mishnah Berurah writes, you can't be matir when you cut it off, when you made the stipulation, except not also only on the eve of Yom Tov Sheni after Teshiyasa. When there's another Savik, you can make it on the eve of Yom Tov Sheni immediately. So he's more machmir than Mishnah Berurah. But again, Yehudi, it's like a non-Jew did it for himself. That he did it for himself in order to get paid. And if they brought outside the tchum, but they were captured and collected every yontif, mutar feel beyond that, so it's mutar even on yontif itself. Because that which it becomes chutz tchum, it's also for the person whom it's brought. You saw that's when he did it for the Jew. He's doing it for his own wages, his own reward, for his own purpose. It's not a problem. Because it's mutar, if he stipulated to be done before Shabbos, it's mutar even if he did it on Shabbos, even with a complete malacha. But I'm assuming rational base. The Bialacha writes in terms of tchum, he should not be meko. Only if it comes outside tchum, should not be meko for shulchan. In fact, you meko, you don't need chodesh yasa. You're without another suffix. Okay, so it's much more machmir than shulchan. Below that says below dame. It's not comparable. The nershi we usually saw b'Shabbos to a candle lit for a Jew on Shabbos. Also, I feel katzatz. There's also, even if you stipulate it, which comes to Mnei above, it's because they lit it explicitly for the Jew to use it immediately. After the time, it's not it's suitable anymore. It's supposed to food. It's like a garment which is not necessarily made for the immediate use. The mutzah b'katzah, which is permitted if he stipulated. Shabbos. Because not destined specifically for Shabbos. The royal gam la'achar Shabbos, also after Shabbos. And here too, the food is mutter for that night and for after Yontif as well. Bialacha writes it no. Again, it's very interesting that some things Mishnah Berurah is machmir, and his makeup here is machmir. Says that food stuff is like a candle, because he's doing it for the Jew to have on Yontif, as opposed to a garment who has no nafkamina when he gets to the hands of the Jew. So, big machlokes Mishnah Berurah Arukh HaShulchan about whether the food is like a candle or not like a candle.